What is up, everyone? Nathan coming at you with the monotype live. I've been counting up the votes, and it looks like fighting. What am I doing? It's like flying and fighting at a baby. Flying. It looks like using your fist to punch other Pokemon has won with 30 votes here. We had a huge swelling of votes for grass. I think it was at like sub, 10, maybe like 4 or 5 before this. We had a huge influx of votes for psychic and dark as well. But it looks like Fighting Man will manage to hold on to it. I remember last time when we were doing the voting, on my last run around of monotype, it was like the runner-up like 8 times in a row, and it finally won. But this time it actually gets it a little bit more cleanly. That's nice. And so we're gonna use a standard fighting team here. I've been trying my best to ladder up and have a good time and try a bunch of teams out and sort of see what clicks for me, because not as bad as Rock. I really went off on recently, of course. I'm glad everyone enjoyed the rants. I'm happy. You never know how that's going to go over when you just spew that at entire typing for that long. But I've always been pretty harsh on fighting too, but it's not as bad as Rock. And again, so I was trying teams out. I was trying to ladder up as high as I can. We got this one to 1400. I'm blocking it. How do I not block it? There we go. I got to 1400. I was like 20-4. I was like, good, we're cooking. This is good. I'll get like 5 more games. We'll be at 1500 is a good point to ladder at for the live. I got 5 more games and I'm still at 1400. So I very much hit like a ceiling. I was like, okay, you know what? We don't have to be high ladder. This is good enough that we can get good competition. We're not getting people doing Calm Mind, Thunder Punch, Tapu Koko. This will be fine. So we're gonna do this here. Before we get going though, again, I was messing around with a lot of different teams, which is choices of Toxicroak and Keldeo might be a little bit odd to people. But this was so popular when I did it with the Mono Bug team, when I made the radar graph, that I thought I would whip it out for fighting again, because I think it's kind of similar where like Bug kind of has an identity, but I think fighting is probably up there with Dragon for the least. Did I see this sub when I was... Oh, that's weird. I have my alert box on somehow. Sorry. I think it's up there with Dragon for like the least identity a type has. And what I mean by that is normally teams kind of fall into one of two camps. One, they either have enough defensive pieces that they can do a balanced, or in the rare cases, stall team. So they're in that camp. Or like the majority of things, they're like, okay, we have some good defensive pieces, like a Tyranitar on mono dark, or a Credilli on mono grass, or we've got, oh, that's a bad example because they're balanced. Or a what's a better example, like a Volcanion on mono fire, or even a Zapdos on mono electric, where you're like, we don't necessarily have to just completely eschew defense and go all out hyper offense all the time. We can have a little bit of a bulkier role players on our team. So that's why most teams you find a monotype, if they can't do the first category I talked about, you're normally going for either a bulky offense or all out offense, which pretty much every type can do, just because every type's got at least 6 offensive Pokemon. That's fine. Poison's probably the worst at that, but even then they're fine. But again, because so many of them are offense, as a result, so much of the time they're structured around sort of a system that their opponent cannot use, is what I always talk about. So we have Hail and Slush Rushers, and to a little limited extent, this one's only got 1 Slusher, but to a limited extent, like, you're not taking chip damage from Ice on a bit more defensive team like that. Mono Fairy can abuse all these different terrains to take advantage of their Pokemon. Bit of a stretch there, I admit. We got Webs with Mono Bug. We got Trick Room sometimes. We got, of course, Sun, of course, Water, of course, Electric Terrain with a Raichu Alola or something like that, boosting your electric attacks. We have Psychic Terrain as well. Mono Ghost doesn't seem to fit into it, but I find the way that Ghost works, even in OU, there's like the idea of Ghost spam is definitely a thing where you just wear down their Ghost type resists over and over and over again, so that your sweeper can pop off like a Blacephalon. So I think even Ghost kind of has like a sort of a theme, I guess is the word I'm looking for, like a theme that their whole team is structured around. And I find the two like most themeless types, I guess Normal falls into it too, but again, they're kind of in that mono grass sort of balance zone. The two that I'm thinking of are your Mono Dragon, right? Because again, it's just a bunch of, these are good Pokemon. Like, no one's gonna complain about all these pseudo legendaries like Kyurem. Like, these are great Pokemon, but they don't really seem to like work as much in concert. And of course, mono fighting is what I'm leaning toward here too. Like, they just like, again, fighting Pokemon are great. Like, these are just some awesome Pokemon. But it's really hard, even more so than a lot of other types, to shore up your defensive types, because if somebody hits you with a psychic move, your best option is a let's take a look. Your best option is a Cobalion, but its Spadef is not good. So you're not taking like even a Scarf expanding force. I was playing against a Monopsychic team. I swapped Cobalion in on an expanding force. It did 80%. And I went, oh, okay, well, that's obviously Specs. I'm good to outspeed it and hit it with a Thunder Wave. No, it was Scarf. I was like, okay, great. So it would have just been like completely annihilated if it's Specs. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Same goes for Lucario. Even worse defenses, even worse speed stat. You got Pangoro, sure. You got a pretty good Defmon and Virizion, but it's not really helping you out either. Really, there's not much defensive utility, and same goes for like if you were looking at resist to flying or fairy. Steel is great because it shores up all of their defensive weaknesses in one mon, but it's got no recovery and it gets worn down pretty freaking quickly. And even then, there's also the case for like, I think mono fighting gets absolutely shredded by mono electric, because if a Specs Regieleki comes in under electric terrain, there's no answer. Best case scenario, maybe a Komodo, which is normally hyper offensive, or a like Virizion. I actually kind of like Virizion in this in mono fighting. Like that's your best case scenario. But even then, you're getting 2-hit KO'd. And even then, like, you have to OHKO it back and return. And then you can't swap in. So in the first place, you're sacking him on. Then you're going to it. And then, yeah, with Virizion, maybe you're doing 60% with the Giga Drain and still getting 2-hit KO'd by rising voltage. So, like, this is very common with mono fighting, where, again, there's no theme. And it's got even less defensive utility than you'd think, despite, like, it seems so backwards. Like, not just these 6, but, again, if you look at fighting, like who's represented here, these are all really good mons. I mean, it's rare that you go to a typing and the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 Pokemon, I guess 10, you don't count Keldeo twice, 10 Pokemon are all like UU or higher. Like that's like shows something for how powerful a typing is. So it's a little bit weird. And I touched on it earlier. I don't think maybe a single typing has had a Pokemon that was more important to its success than Urshifu Single Strike was to it. Like it's so important. So first of all, it was banned for a reason. Like as a wall breaker, I even forget what the freaking move is called now. It's been so long since I played. It's like a year now at this point. Wicked Blow, yeah, geez. So Wicked Blow, of course, was like one of the best moves ever. It made a ridiculous wall breaker with with Choice Band. You of course had some speed control with your Sucker Punch. You could use Poison Jab to hit fairies that come in, Iron Head to hit fairies that come in. You could smoke almost everything else, like a Dark type with a close combat. It was just a ridiculous Pokemon. I don't think anyone questions that. But of course, crucially, it's just nice having a good Pokemon with a Dark typing on your team here, right? Like just to be having some sort of answer. Almost every Psychic type has a Fairy move that can click to stop an Urshifu swap in. So let's say, an Indeedee comes in, they're threatening Expanding Force, and you go to Urshifu. Almost all the time, they'll have at least a Dazzling Gleam or some sort of coverage move to stop Urshifu too. But just to give them like a second of indecision, or maybe you sack a Pokemon, and then again, you go to Urshifu and it's got some sort of answer there, And again, that powerful priority Sucker Punch. So again, we're talking about Regieleki. You come in on the Regieleki and you can threaten it out with a priority Sucker Punch and threaten to OHKO it. So it was just so freaking good. An Unseen Fist. Like, you can still have that in Urshifu Rapid Strike. But here's a frequency scenario. You have a Celesteela who destroys Mono Steel. It's going in on you. It's doing Leech Seed Protect, and you don't know what to swap into because, you click a electric move and they just swap out to their Excadrill and your choice locked. Or you click a fighting type move predicting the Excadrill swap and they protect and they can see that and they stay in and they keep leeching you over and over and over again. So Unseen Fist prevents that whole like protect scouting and you just smoke it right away. Whenever it's going to, no matter what, Wicked Blow is going to be an amazing 2-hit KO move. This Pokemon would have still been arguably ban worthy if it only had Wicked Blow. It was so good with that speed tier and attack stat. So it just, for Dark, it totally made sense. Dark was like, it's still a good offensive typing, a very good typing without Urshifu, but I was just pretty bummed when it got banned just because it completely gutted fighting. There's never been a more, in my opinion, Pokemon to its type than Urshifu Single Strike was to it. And again, we do still have Urshifu Rapid Strike, but if we go back to that example I had for the Celesteela, like if they've got a Ferrothorn, then you're taking like 50% at least on Rapid Striking it. So it's not quite the same. If we're using that kind of Pokemon, I'd probably prefer the Keldeo, honestly. So it is sucky. It's kind of lost a lot of its charm there. But let's go. That was man, 10 minutes already. Time just flies when I start waxing on like this stuff. So let's talk about the different Pokemon we can use here as a result, because again, I think that we kind of have to make it up in the aggregate, kind of Moneyball style. So speaking of sports, go Bills. This is the night after the Bills just smoked the Super Bowl reigning champs. I got my LaShawn McCoy jersey on here. If you don't know what that means, he's a famous Eagles player, a really good running back who played for the Bills for a while. Well, my $70 on a parlay tonight, pretty hype. But anyways, that's off the topic here. Let's get our team assembled. If you didn't watch my mono bug video and don't know what I'm doing here, I pretty much I ran through how a Scarf Terrakion matches up against every monotype team, just really roughly. And you know, I go, okay, like fire, like okay, he kind of goes off on Volcanion. It's pretty good versus Cinderace because it's Scarf. If they Sucker Punch, it boosts your attack. Smoke Sword him Heat. Heat Rain can take the rock move, so you can use close combat on that. It's still a decent matchup. There's a little bit of indecision between Blacephalon and Heat Rain. You know, you want to use rock move here, you want to use a fighting move here, but still pretty positive. Of course, it's amazing versus Volcarona. If they set up one Quiver Dance, you can come in and you can outspeed it still with the Stone Edge and instantly kill it. Fantastic. So, you know, not, you know, like a Volcarona versus Mono Grass, but still like a really commanding matchup. So if 100 is neutral, 300 is like, and 200 is like a very useful piece. 300 is like, it's huge. It's a centerpiece of your game plan. Huge. And, you know, I ran through it with everything. You know, you go through Poison and you go, okay, it's a Scarf Terrakion versus Poison. And how does that match up? I had someone accuse me last time, not that I'm upset about it, but some people were questioning my method. And it is like very like you just saw, kind of off the cuff, where I'm like, okay, you know, it doesn't do good versus here or here or here. Maybe a half hit KO, decent versus these two. And like I kind of just freewheel it all. And I also go through the stats and I kind of go, okay, well, this is just my team. This isn't, of course, a monolith of the entire mono poison, whatever, but I'll also go, you know, through here and be like, okay, who else is high in usage? Okay, so Gengar, matchup versus Gengar is pretty good if I'm Scarf. So that's all right. You know, I kind of do it that way where I'm giving it like a feel sort of thing. And that's the problem is, you know, I try to just consider it on a singular matchup basis, how they do versus every Pokemon, but there's a lot to cover. You know, I covered 11 Pokemon this time. There's 18 typings and there's usually 6 Pokemon per team. So it's pretty like just a gut feeling like, okay, he's really good versus this here. He's good versus this here. There's going to be exceptions, of course, and things where I'm wrong. And again, the value I'm attributing is totally like, I got decent at like some consistency after the fact, but it's definitely not a scientific system either. So anyways, people got a little bit upset about the methodology here, but it's really, again, like I said last time, it's just an illustration of what putting a team together can look like and how you combine your strengths and weaknesses. So we had Scarf Terrakion here. We see Destroy's fighting. That's amazing. It's great versus Ice too. Pretty awful versus Poison and Grass and Water, not surprisingly. So we're going to try to shore that up with other Pokemon here. I like Stealth Rock Cobalion a lot. Its defensive typing is probably a little bit overrated, honestly. Again, it's nice to have some sort of answer for Psychic and Fairy and flying moves, but it doesn't really have the defenses to last more than 2 or 3 hits of that kind. No recovery either. What I do like about it, it's just a high speed tier, strong Iron Head attack. Thunder Wave is super underrated, like just a great move to spread status with in general. We love that. And I run Taunt on it. A lot of people run Volt Switch, I think. I like just having a fast taunter. Like that's just a really useful thing against other offense. So we'll throw him in. He's going to help certain categories like Grass a ton, obviously. That's the problem is you get a lot of like similar things. Like he's also great versus Ice. We don't really need that probably. If anything, want something to help me versus Fairy and Psychic. And I gave him a really high rating on Fairy just because of taunting and Thunder Wave and stuff like that. He almost never hit below 100 because I figure worst case scenario, you can always Thunder Wave or taunt or something, except for ground, which is why he was below 100 there. Next we're gonna have Buzzwole. Buzzwole, you know, I kind of came around to having a second Scarf from the team just because it kind of shores up like if one of the Scarfers can't do it, the second one is in the back and can kind of do it. And the scaling on Buzzwole with Beast Boost is really nice, but it's definitely a much more up and down Mon. And I think those 3 are like as chalky as you're gonna get. And what I mean by that is like that's 3 very common Pokemon. I believe Komodo in usage is up next in terms of how popular it is. I'm not a huge fan of it. I really haven't laddered with it much. Maybe I'll give it a try, not on this live, but on the next live, just because I kind of like the idea of it. And I look at the matchup spreads and helps with a lot of problem typings. Like I think Fire is pretty rough for us otherwise, so I like that. It's pretty good versus dark. I mean, I hate how hard it is to deal with grass and electric, namely, with no resist on your team. So I like that. Actually, I think Zapdos Galar is kind of chalky too. You can go with, you know, and or a Hawlucha. But Hawlucha is so like, look at this. Like you just get destroyed by electric. There's no chance to set up. Really rough versus ground with all those Hippowdons. Terrible versus flying. Like it's just a wash in so many matchups. But it helps you destroy other fighting teams. I don't think there's a single like better Pokemon against mono fighting than Hawlucha. That's not true, but it's really good. Great versus grass. I was talking about grass earlier. Great versus bug and normal. Normal is like, man, you want to talk about how difficult the Urshifu loss is for normal? That's maybe the biggest example. Normal, like, it should lose really hard to fighting, and it does for the most part, but a single Indeedee can like mix you and just completely wreck your shit. And then if they ditto on your Terrakion and at like at the end game and just sweep with close combat, like, you know, normal is like, it's weird. I feel like it's always like just a devastating sweep with normal. And most of my wins, though, it feels like they're misplaying their Indeedee. Well, that's the thing. Actually, it depends if they have an Indeedee. I don't normally play mono normal with Indeedee, and like if they've got one, it's insanely like one-sided. Anyways, Hawlucha helps with that. Did I add? No, Zapdos. Let's add you. Zapdos, I think is really great. It's kind of like, it should be better because like the typing, like flying fighting typing is amazing. Again, I talked about how it helps with grass, which is awesome, but also helps with poison and bug. Because like if you look at poison defensive cores, nobody can take a Brave Bird twice in a row. That's awesome for us. But the problem is that it's so fragile. You're realistically not getting more than like two is like stretching it, right? You get like one, you know, a 2 KO on Brave Bird. Zapdos is already down to like half health. Includes Stealth Rocks. If it receives a hit back in return, it's like defensive typing is great for mono fighting, but doesn't quite work out that cleanly. But still, very good wall breaker. I personally love Specs Keldeo on the team. If you look at the monotype viability rankings, which I'm often disagreeing with, it's ranked pretty low, but I just think it's such like a key wall breaker in some big matchups. Like in mono flying and mono steel, like it is a weapon to swap into, and it kind of similar to Urshifu Rapid Strike. Urshifu Single Strike. Another good wall breaker is I just click Spec Scald every time, and I'm just chilling. Like if I need extra power, I got Hydro Pump. If I know they're swapping out, I got Flip Turn. If I know they're going to like a Gastrodon, I got Secret Sword. That's great. Like lots of tools in the back, but for the most part, I'm just mashing that Scald baby. Like that's all I need. You got the chances of a burn, 100% accurate, very high base power. Like I'm all about Scald with that high base speed too. You don't even need the speed boost. We're gonna get 2 Scarfers. We're good there. Plus Cobalion and Keldeo are super fast to begin with. Like nobody on this team is gonna reach below. Well, I might throw Toxicroak on, but for the most part, it's like 100 base speed across the board. I love that. You know, definitely some bad matchups too, but helps that you're decent versus water and of course great versus fire. So I like it. And you know, of course, electric is kind of a wash, but even then though, because you can wall break Zapdos decently. Obviously, like electric's a wash, but I think it's kind of a wash for this typing in the first place. And so why try to shore up a miserable matchup when you can just, you know, win the ones that are winnable? Is that every... Well, you know, Virizion is a tough one. I was lauding with it a little bit. The team before... It's that I was using like a while ago. I had a Virizion on it, and it's very similar to that Hawlucha, where you just like... There are some useless matchups, and actually more useless matchups than Hawlucha, if we're being honest. But it's just very commanding versus water, and it's a Calm Mind Giga Drain taunt set. And I just find there's so much like extra utility in that. Just having coming in and forcing a swap with Calm Mind kind of annihilates Toxapex, which I like. You know, it's got some stuff versus Poison, which I enjoy. You know, you taunt them so they can't haze you back. It's a fast taunt similar to that Cobalion. Urshifu, also a great wall breaker. I prefer, you could throw it on Keldeo too. I've again messed with teams that had that combination. I prefer just a Keldeo, for being honest. Hawlucha, again, hit or miss. Toxicroak is like, again, really nice to have versus water. Dry skin, we love that. This team does not really have a good water resist otherwise. Like these first 4 get murked by water attacks. Keldeo, not much of a defensive mon, but having immunity is certainly nice. It's also got a Swords Dance Sucker Punch option. It's, you know, we got neutrality, of course, to fairy type attacks with that poison typing. I don't think that's very useful. It's so non-defensively inclined. That's just like, it doesn't really come into play much. Stab Gunk Shot is definitely nice. But you know, I'm not super sold on Toxicroak. So maybe I go with Clangor Soul here. And so again, these are two that I've never used. So I was doing like these breakdowns of how they do it versus other typings. This is a lot of guessing, right? It took a long time with me. I was just looking and going, okay, so you know, I guess AV Conkeldurr is okay versus you. We Drain Punch you. That's pretty great, actually. Rillaboom, we take a lot of damage. That's not great. Credilli, we should beat. Whimsicott should beat us, but we're AV, so maybe we get off like a nothing, actually, so that would be wrong. Amoonguss is pretty bad. Ferrothorn's pretty good. Like, I don't really know. Like, I played a lot of Cobalion and Terrakion games at this point. That was pretty easy to bang out, but this is tougher. So let's see. Let's use this radar graph. I didn't do it for no reason here, right? So the weaknesses we have that I'd like to shore up: Psychic Fairy. Again, I think it's kind of a lost cause. Electric. You know, actually, Conkeldurr would probably be the best option for electric. You have a Mach Punch, which would do nothing versus Raichu Alola and very little versus Tapu Koko. That sucks, actually. It'd be okay versus Regieleki, but I think you still might get OHKO'd by a Rising Voltage under electric terrain. And I don't even know if your Mach Punch, it'd probably be a 2 at KO. So I don't love that. I mean, it depends on the investment, of course, like how much SPDF you have, how much attack you have. I'd probably go max HP and SPDF, Calm. Or no, Calm's special, or minus attack. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I don't know. It would be probably our best bet for electric, but again, I'm kind of lately been more of the camp that if it's a losing matchup, just kind of take the L. Water, I do think is winnable. So maybe if we got Urshifu to help us with water a little bit, that would be interesting. Because you're pretty strong after +1, but you still get murked by a lot of water type attackers. It depends which one, right? If you got Toxapex, then Urshifu's then Komodo's terrible. If you got a Seismitoad, it's much better. That's a tricky one. Poison would be nice to help, but I think that's also just, I think it's almost as bad as electric, for being honest. Steel we'd like a little bit more help with. Again, Steel you'd think we'd be winning against easily, but it's not quite a 100-0 matchup. But this is with Keldeo helping it a lot too. Fighting we're pretty bad at. We could definitely add some help there with a Howlucha. What area of support do we need? Well, I guess if there's one that helps us with Steel, that'd be nice. And I think Komodo would be pretty great there if I remember correctly. Steel 200. I like that. Well, let's see what it looks like. Let's just add it to our little chart here. So we just rinse fire. I said before it was a problem matchup. I think I'm full of shit if that's the case, because any collection of mons is kind of destroying it. So that's great. Fire is our best matchup, apparently. I don't know if I believe that. Normal's up there. Again, this is not a scientific system. I apologize if you're looking for a perfect system here. I was debating doing this with more typings and maybe like, I wasn't even planning to say this. I was debating maybe like spending a lot of time and getting some good monotype players to help me make this in a really well-developed extent, the radar chart, and then maybe have like a Patreon where I give access to it. That would take a lot of work, because even this kind of scuffed quick version took me hours, because just there's so many matchups to go over, and even then it's not very scientific. And even like you can get into stuff with like the stats page, and you can go into like the stats page and it shows you a checks and counters thing. Oh, they didn't flesh it out here. Maybe it's in a different page, but sometimes they'll show you like, you know, when a Buzzwole swaps on a Cobalion, it swaps out 60% of the time, or it's the one that revenge kills it or whatever. I don't even know how they find that data, but whatever. So anyways, I'm debating putting some time into that, but it'd be a big project for sure. Anyways, so this is Clangor Soul Komodo. Let's compare versus AV Conkeldurr here. How our chart looks. Just take a little look-see. Pretty similar. It's really spiking ice here. I don't really care about ice though. Clangor Soul Komodo is actually not very good versus ice. It's very ironic. You'd expect it to be good with that typing, but it doesn't really have a chance to set up on anybody. But that's fine. I think as long as we've got Cobalion and Terrakion and Buzzwole, we can kind of piece it together a win. It'd be nice to have it be an auto win, but I think it's doable. Yeah. Oh, I wish I was streaming so I could have chat like tell me what they think. It's like just shades of gray. I think I'll do the Clanger Soul Komodo because I just remember, like, again, I didn't play it and I was going by like type by type how I thought things would pan out. I was just kind of impressed when I was like linking across. I was like, okay, you know what? It kind of helps there a lot. It's not bad. And in my head, it was going to be bad. So I was pleasantly surprised by it. We'll give it a shot. This is pretty close to just the sample fighting type team, which is the one I kind of circled back to the most, had the most success with. So we'll give it a try here. We'll have to make our own, I think, right? Yeah, we're not using Iron Defense. We're going to use a Clanger Soul set. But I do need to grab Cobalion again here. Thank you, sir. Yeah, not that it's very complex at all. I love the Thunder Wave, though. Like, that was another thing I've been trying out recently. Just this latest mono fighting extent. I think Thunder Wave puts in hella work. Just because, like, it's an agent of chaos. Like, you don't even know how many paralysis you're going to get, but it just goes off every time. And so I'll throw in Komodo here, and we'll go Throat Spray, I believe is what we need. And then I'll go Bulletproof is really amazing, especially like for Pyro Balls and Shadow Balls, stuff like that. It's a weirdly good move. Like, it kind of like low-key makes you Ghost immune, which is like stupid. You can still get hit by like Poltergeist and Hex and shit, but like most Ghost type attacks are Shadow Ball. So having like a Ghost immunity is so handy. So we'll have that, and then we're gonna go Clangorous Soul, or well, that's fine, and then Flamethrower, and then Drain Punch is kind of where I'm leaning towards that. And I bet there's if I took like another 10 minutes and I was going through the speed tiers or was even going through benchmarks, I could find a better spread here, but I'm 28 minutes in, haven't played a single battle. I was pretty happy that everybody was saying stuff like, you know, we don't care if you know, as long as it's generally like structured. I think you guys were okay with it, which I appreciate. But I'll probably throw in a timestamp for this video, and I'll try to play 3 or 4 battles, so it's not just like a 0 battle game. I don't know, it's one of those things where, like, this is cynical of me, but as a creator, I wonder how like things scale between viewers watching longer videos and shorter videos. You have more watch time, but like more people click on shorter videos. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. We're against water. I think this is going to be doable if we play our cards right. I'm probably glad I have the Komodo over. Well, you know what? That Toxic Oak might have been nice, but oh well. It's the bot. Hopefully we can outplay it here. I don't remember who they've been leading lately. Again, it's one of those things where like it changes, but I'm pretty sure they've been leading the Politoed lately. So our best matchup here is going to be, might be a Komodo game, but we could get Toxic. Go to +1. It's not bad, but I think it's really tanky is the problem. Maybe Keldeo is my best bet, and I just go for a Secret Sword off the rip, or go for Stealth Rock / Thunder Wave. That's where I'm leaning. Epic Beanie, it's even better. We can't Thunder Wave it, but I will go for a. I mean, how much damage is a Moonblast gonna do? I think I need the rocks. I think I need it. It does Intuit KO. That's pretty amazing. Let's go for an Iron Head. It's faster, of course. We have no swap in. This is one of the most important Pokemon to reduce, so. Maybe I should have Iron Headed twice, honestly, but, you know, this is the biggest problem here. God. There's not much. Outsped. Outsped 2, actually. It's got to be Terrakion. Please. Bird up. Let's go. Let's go. You're hitting me with a ground type attack. I know it in my bones. Nice. Don't a Brave Bird on the Pelipper? Yeah, why not? Oh! Oh! We get Pelipper here. We're outspeeding. I'm taking this matchup. Yes, sir. Later, baby. So we trade Zapdos. Again, like, that seems like... That's what Zapdos does perfectly. I want to stress in mono fighting is you just choose some good points to wall break with. It's just an excellent wall breaker. You have Hurricane. I don't think your choice sucks. I should know that so much, like what set this bot runs on Pelipper, but I don't. Buzzwole's looking kind of interesting. Then I'm fighting Kingdra, who would go for Hurricanes. Yeah, that's my biggest concern. I got 4 turns. I think actually, hear me out. Kingdra comes in and Hurricanes 4 times. There's only 4 turns of rain, but like still, like that's not good. I think my play is I go to Komodo and I Clangor Soul. I might live a Pelipper. No, Hurricane would kill 1,000 times there. That's stupid. I just gotta choose one Pokemon who can kill 4, which is again probably Komodo. Okay, well we'll go to Keldeo here, and I'll Secret Sword. They swap out. That's beautiful. Are you kidding me? I mean, it probably doesn't matter ultimately. He still outspeeds all my guys, whether he's at 7 health or 100% health. We have to sack 2 more Mons, and I have to decide who I trust to win it all. Between Buzzwole or Komodo, because Buzzwole can just kind of pick up speed. And if Buzzwole at +1 takes Seismitoad, probably because Seismitoad will have a weakened water type attack without the rain ending, and the ground type attack. Oh wait, are you Boots? I think you're Boots too, so rain goes back up. Ugh, I might still lose this. It's one of those situations where you want to have a quick attack on Terrakion for sure. I think Hurricane just wins. We're gonna try though. We're gonna try our darndest. Skips turn like an idiot, but Hurricane only did 54 because we're a rock type. Stupid, of course. Close combat. They renew Renarian. I was right. Happy to do Boots. I've been a big dummy this whole game. But I think we still... Oh, it's so slow. Let's go. Can we Oko Politoed is the question. Is it better to go for Leech Life? TT or Weak? It's late at night. Forgive me for being stupid, but I was pretty sure it didn't resist Bug. Can we kill a Seismitoad? Yeah. It locked into Earthquake. That's fantastic. We're +1 to attack. I think we're good. This was not my best played game, but it's the middle of the night for me. It still kills? I threw that so freaking hard. That's... Oh my god. I don't even want to upload now. That's just so tragic. Not for the freaking Terrakion play. I just, oh my, it's like I forgot all my type resistances there. That's hard to watch. Okay, we're gonna get Mono Ghost here. This one's tricky. How did it come out in our charts? I don't love it. You know, obviously your fighting type attacks are resisted, and they're really fast and strong and stuff like that. So I just, yeah, this isn't my favorite. They don't have a Corsola Galar. Importantly, though, that's nice. In terms of matchups, we're going to see first. And actually, Mimikyu is huge, so it just guarantees 1 kill on one of your Mons at least. Keldeo, I like versus U3, of course. It's actually okay versus everyone because there's a Scald threat. Ballin's going to have a hard time doing a lot. I just got to do something. I'm afraid one of these fire types is the lead. They're probably not going to do that. They're going to save you for a Trick Room opportunity and probably you for an end game. But I'm a frightened boy of that. Zapdos. Would you get O-code by a Blacephalon? You have okay Spadef, that's something. Mo is looking very promising, actually. That's nice, but I have to hope that they get rid of the Mimikyu first. Maybe go to it first to bait out the Mimikyu. That's a compelling question. Terrakion, do I want to keep you for the end game? You can still outspeed Dragapult, importantly. I want to get Terrakion early, as long as it's not Aegislash. Very nice. I could go for an Earthquake on the, which should be an Aegislash. But I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think it would have O-code Marowak, so that's fine. Then comes Aegislash. That's a good Cobalion opportunity. Get some rocks up, get some damage off. Is it Specs? It seems to be physical. Life Orb. Interesting. Let's... I'm going to get hit by a close combat here. I want to taunt on like a Swords Dance. I really, really do. But the close combat will look like a silly boy. A silly, silly boy. I'm going to go with my gut, though. You know, it's kind of a 50-50. The King Shield. Okay, taunt works perfectly fine then. I'll Stealth Rocks now. I could still get close combat. I'm predicting I will. Yeah. Fair enough. I think that's fine, honestly, because now I can just go for an Earthquake and there's no swapping. Yeah, I think that worked out pretty okay, actually. Or was Keldeo the play? Probably was, because now I'm probably going to be forced to swap this guy out because I'd rather keep this guy healthy. Or it's okay. It's an offensive battle. We're up in the Sack War. That should invite in Mimikyu. I would be thrilled with. Can't be one of you two. If it's Dragapult, I'm going to have to calc because Looking at a 2-hit KO. We outspeeding Dragon Bolt in all likelihood. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. For sure, I will trade your disguise for my Terrakion. That's what I wanted. Now, it's still very useful here. Huh? Eh? Why you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do this thing? Oh my god, it lives. It's tanky. Okay. Okay. You know what? I shouldn't be mean. Like, they're trying something new. It's interesting. But, oh man. Like, you could have killed my Terrakion with any other set there. This is tricky. I don't know what to do here. We're locked in a Scald. It's looking like a 3-hit KO. But we could get a burn, which is super enticing. I'm gonna go to Buzzwole. I think it's his main job right now. I think it lives whatever Dragon Bolt's got. Yeah, that's great. We're outspeeding with a nice punch, nearly killing. If we get a 3-turn, we do get the kill. That went from 43 to 50%. That's crazy. So we get the kill there. That's fabulous. I want to swap out, and the Cephalon's gonna come in into Keldeo on the fire type attack. But actually, we get 2 KO'd regardless. And of course, there's no reason they're not going to click Shadow Ball, which I want to encourage for the record. I very much want you to kill me with a Shadow Ball so I can go to my... Oh, hold on a second here. That's new and terrifying. We're faster, right? Yes. Thank you. I think this kills. Cephalon hella weak. Nice. Okay. That's a pretty big W. 4 Mons. We love to see it. We're back up to 1400 again. That's my ceiling. You can go a little bit above, you can go a little bit below. Now, Fire, I said, was a really strong matchup for us. Now, to be fair, I wasn't, when I was comparing Pokemon, how they do, comparing them against Heatmor or Salazzle, if I'm being honest. But fair enough. They're going for something a little bit off the books here. I always am afraid of a lead Salazzle. I don't want my team to get completely murked by that. I could go Cobalion and Taunt if that's the case. I don't care so much if it gets hit by a... Because Cobalion's only job is just to get Stealth Rocks, essentially, so I'm fine with that. But it's hard to say no to Terrakion as lead. Let's just go with my gut. I maybe want it for the end game. I probably do want it for the end game. I'm worried about body press, but you can't kill me. Worst case scenario, you have a 30% chance of a burn on me. I'm going to take that bet. I'm also going to bet on the Stone Edge, which crits again. I cannot complain about the luck. Yeah, you know what? Sun essentially out for the count. If we get a Broxus, Torkoal should stay dead. Very nice. Who's next? God, it's not a great look for them. There goes their Sun. I'm scarfed, so I'm outspeeding all of you. Pretty great. I still got a Komodo in the back, importantly. I think Komodo's going to go off against this team. And I think I take this. You know what? Fair enough. I got the crit before. I'm not going to complain. Discharge, eh? I don't love Komodo as a matchup if that's the case. I still have Stone Edge on Buzzwole, who isn't stab, but he will get stronger as the game progresses. Discharge, I feel like you're probably not. Scarf. With Thunderbolt, Volt Switch. So let's go for the close combat. Nice. No way it ate that. I am stunned. Jeez. That's impressive. Max HP, I guess. It could be Fizdef too, I guess. I'd be interested in calculating that later afterwards. Wow. We do get the Beast Boost, essentially like a stab Stone Edge now. That's very nice. We don't outspeed a Scarf plus Cephalon, importantly. I still got Komodo and Keldeo, which is very nice. If we see Cephalon, I'd probably sack Cobalion. We didn't get a chance to get those rocks up. It's nice knowing they've got some slow Pokemon in the back. So once the Sun ends in 3 turns, we got some good shooters here. I think I'd probably take this. Just because Volcanion will give my Keldeo fits. Please hit. Damn. Oh, damn. Ugh. Okay, it's got to be Komodo. There's no other choice. Go Clangor Soul, Komodo. Your debut on my mono fighting team. I've never used you in mono fighting. I don't know if I've ever used you in monotype, period. We're at +1 Spadef with that HP cut. We should live a sludge, whatever. Don't burn. on our game luck-wise. His Drain Punch was perfect there. And I don't want to lower my defense with Clanging Scales, but I have to. Not going to kill. Wow, it comes real close. That's comforting. The body prep. What is... Oh my god. Of course I have to drop my defense. Oh no. That'll be... Now it's pretty much up to Keldeo, honestly. Great. And I want to know what set you are so badly and I won't be able to know. They might have just thrown the game there. Wow. I guess they're just hoping for the defense to drop. So that kind of indicates to me his specs. Because he thought he couldn't outspeed and he thought, hold on. I don't want to sack my Blacephalon. I'd rather sack my Cobalion. That's what that's telling me. I'm going to go Cobalion here. We do get Heat Ward to my surprise. I was hoping to Thunder Wave the slower Blacephalon. I'll just get Rocks up to weaken it a little bit. Is this Oko? Does not. Thunder Wave in case Keldeo can't Oko it. That's fine. Wait, do you have Power Whip? Oh god. Oh god, I can't take a loss here. Okay. Alright. There's Scarf, I don't think Psychic can kill. If there's Specs, we outspeed and we Oko with Rocks, certainly. I think that was a close call. We came out on top. I'll get one more here. Unless a crit, which would suck. Okay, we do it speed. Very nice. That was a little bit dicey. All right, let's get one more here. Maybe crack that 1430 area. Should be nice. A steal would be fun. We've been pretty lucky, honestly. Like, no, I like fighting in neutral matchups. It's fun. But as long as we avoid like Psychic and Fairy, because those are just like, I don't even think I'd finish alive if that was it. Because it's just such a non-starter. Another fighting. Okay, just a lot of like primary types here. This looks like a very competitive team. The last one was kind of funky, but this looks very standard, something what I would run. I'm kind of coming around to the Torkoal less fire teams. They're a little bit more defensive quality than you think. A little bit surprised to see no Moltres or Rotom though. That's really odd. So we know for a fact it's probably an Air Balloon Heatran, if not also a Volcanion. Certainly spicy. Certainly our biggest concern here in Cinderace. I don't trust my chart because there's no way this is our best matchup. Like by 1500 is way overstating things. I guess we'll find out. Let's go. I think we'll see Victini as a lead, in which case Komodo, there's gonna be no better chance for Komodo to do its work, do its foul deeds. If Komodo gets a Clanger Soul though, I think we could win the game just off the rip. I think it's got a very good matchup. Thunder outside? Hold on. I'm checking. Hold on. Okay, there's either Fighter plane circling overhead or Thunder in the middle of a sunny day. I'm kind of freaked out. Let's go. Those got a lot of good matchups here for sure. The thing is, I just hate the idea of leading Keldeo versus Victini. So then I'm immediately questioning, are they going to go for a Bolt Strike on me with a Scarf, whatever, or trick me or something? Or B, like even then, do I click Secret Sword on a Psychic type, anticipating that Volcanion swap in? Or do I click the Water move, and then it's got a free Fire type attack, which I can't really swap into? So I'm kind of terrified of that lead. I'm going to go with just a very gutsy... Uh-oh, I'm going to do it. We get Cinderace. We're immune to Pyro Ball. We do take a lot from High Jump Kick, but it's risky on their part. It is risky on their part. It could be Zen Headbutt. If it's Zen Headbutt, then I might just lose this whole game, though. So, no use fretting over spilled milk. From the Mega Joner. Joner? No, John has got an H. Ooh, a little bit spicy. We're both going to set up on each other here. Lightning Souls is probably the best bet. However, I don't want to lower my defense. So I'm just going to Drain Punch. We're faster, which is nice. Yeah, Drain Punch is definitely my play. I think Clanging Skulls will probably kill. Let's not be stupid. We eat the hell out of that. Drain Punch would have been better though because it'd be full health, but whatever. I just wanted to kill. That was the scariest one. I just wanted to kill. We need a Shadow Ball. We resist fire. Scarf Psyshock is our fear right now. I think we live it. Wow, that's gotta be a forfeit turn too. That's gotta be a forfeit. I've seen people it's just, it's that simple. It's that simple. One more. Bird up. You can't make a mistake like that and not forfeit. And we get the mono dark to close things out here. Not a free win by any means. If I screw up versus Moltres Galar, or even a Scarf close combat Zarude, even there's a number of ways I could lose this one. Let's be clear. I think Dark's very respectable. And they leave. Awesome. Let's go for I think Zapdos, if we're going to see Grimmsnarl. If I see Weavile, I've got a pretty comfortable swap out. Yeah. I like it. Just wall break nice and early. It's funny, Cobalion in theory completely walls Hydreigon because it just eats the hell out of Dragon and Dark moves. But I think Hydreigon normally runs Fire over Dragon, which would be my biggest concern right now. So I think I'm safe to close combat. And we actually just outspeed. Great. I was thinking if they led their Scarf, but apparently not. I like it in that set too. Okay. This is what I was hoping for in the first place. Another turn 2 forfeit? 2 turn 2 forfeits to end the live? There's Weavile coming in with that young Ice Shard, or Crash in this case, misses. Turn 3 forfeit? No? You want to think about it? Not quite. Oh, okay, okay. We see you. We see you. Maybe go for a Leech Life here. I would like to keep this guy around just for Zarude. Zarude, like, I'm not super scared at all, obviously, but I don't know. I would like to just have, like, one extra thing of insurance here. Close combat. If I don't kill it outright, I'm coming very close. So at +1 special attack and +2 speed. Can they Hurricane me and win the game? Left again. Very good. There's no way they hit 6 Hurricanes. If I don't kill outright. Yeah, okay, great. I just didn't want to throw on that, but there's no way they're hitting 6 Hurricanes, and that seemed pretty close to me. So, okay, kind of dominant finish here. I started the live talking a little bit of ish on Mono Dark. Kamo did some work, honestly. I think if I, my Ironmans, I've done this thing lately where I collect one of every typing at the top, just a super like vanilla version of every team. I've got all 18, my first at the top here. So if I'm doing an Ironman, like, it's easy to get around to. And I think Kamo has made the Ironman lineup. I think he's earned his spot there. Toxico, I love the idea of in a mono fighting. I do, mostly just for the Sucker Punch, missing that Urshifu. And I messed with similar priority with a banded Urshifu Aqua Jet, also a great breaker, of course. But I like this Kamo's matchups, and I can't articulate as well as when I was going through these spreadsheets for hours today. But I just love what Urshifu brought on a team-by-team basis. It was rarely bad. And when it was bad, it was in Fairy and Psychic, whatever. Oh, and Ice. And Ice, again, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with Scarf Terrakion and Buzzswole and all that stuff. So, excuse me. That's me done. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time. Take it easy.